The National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, is a government agency mandated to promote the use of modern biotechnology to enhance natural development. This agency has over the last few years been involved in activities that have helped the nation benefit from collaborations both nationally and internationally. In fulfilling her vision to make biotechnology an engine of growth for socio-economic development of Nigeria and her mission, promoting biotechnology activities that will positively respond to national aspirations on food security, job, wealth creation, affordable health care delivery, and sustainable environment, NABDA, in partnership with the Institute of Agricultural Research IAR and OFAB Nigeria Agricultural Private Development. Together, they developed a new cotton variety known as Bolgard 2, which has the potential to resist the bollworm insect attack.
After these new products were commissioned for commercialization, our Minister of Science and Technology invited the Minister of Agric, at that time Chief Audogbe, and two of them formally launched this product. Now, that ceremony was very important because it brought the attention of not only the whole country, but even the whole world to this new product, which is surely going to be a game changer in the textile industry in this country.
The two ministers endorsed the commercialization of this white gold in Nigeria for the revitalization of the textile industry, job, wealth creation, and economic growth.
Before oil, the textile industry used to be one of the highest employers of labor in this country. And it also created hundreds of thousands of jobs in the different textile mills and ginneries spread all the way from Kano in the north to Lagos in the southwest and Aba in the southeast.
It is on record that the northern Nigeria textile industry experienced an unprecedented growth in the history of Africa in early 60s and 70s. By 1911, Kano was producing more than 2 million rolls of cloth per year. The textile manufacturers were distributed all over the territory, and exports of local textiles to West African countries became intensified. During the 19th century, the Kano textile industry reached extraordinary production levels.
Cotton is a very important crop in Africa. It has always been an important crop. And what many young Nigerians didn't know is that before colonial time, northern Nigeria was a very important textile center for West Africa. Not only textile center, but also dyeing center. And if to now you may go, you will see in Kano, some of the northern states, you will see the traditional dyeing centers for cotton materials.
Kano's popularity as a market was due to a series of commercial incentives and greater regulation of market transaction. Likewise, in southern Nigeria, the British Cotton Growers Association was operating 3 large ginneries at Ibadan, Lafenwa near Abeokuta, and Lokoja. The Nigerian textile industry spread considerably, and by 1987, the industry had grown to be the 3rd largest in Africa, attracting investment from China and India with over 170 urban textile mills and about 600,000 skilled and unskilled labor, earning their living through it. The sector in the 1980s made annual turnover of $8.95 billion and generated 25% of the manufacturing gross domestic product GDP. It accounted for not less than 10% of the corporate income taxes, with about 1.3 million cotton farmers in the country's cotton production belt and a dependency ratio of 1 farmer to 8 dependents. An estimated 17.2 million people derived their livelihood from the sector. What went wrong?
The main reason for this is due to inadequate supply of cotton, because our traditional cotton variety gives you between 250 kilograms to 750 kilograms per hectare, and where the agronomic practice is very good, you might be able to get up to 950 kilograms per hectare.
From the 1990s, the fortune of the textile industry dipped and the number of textile mills dropped considerably. The industry, that was producing at over 63% capacity utilization, dropped to a very low capacity utilization ebb. The textile mills in operation dropped to 25, with about 24,000 workers and projected dependent levels of less than 250,000 people. Presently, in Nigeria, cotton lint is the most important single apparel fiber. Although other raw materials such as kenaf, bamboo, dissolving pulp from hardwoods exist, cotton is the basic raw material in the Nigerian textile industry. Thus, the domestic availability of cotton is the essential factor for the establishment of the industry in the country. But despite the importance of cotton to textile industry revival, its production locally has not been quite impressive.
You could see that, I don't know, it's not very far off. The non-conventional, the conventional cotton is there, but once you see, you notice the difference even in the leaves. The leaves of the conventional ones are already being attacked by insects, even though they also have vigor in terms of height, but their productivity is far less.
The peak period of cotton production in Nigeria was as far back as 1976-77, when about 453,126 bales, that is 183.43 kg bale, were produced. Thereafter, production started to decline due to price fluctuation, pest infestation, and other related problems. By 1983 and 84, only 69,000 bales were produced, while the demand was about 531,000 bales, which might have been intensified through importation.
Now, Nigerians are the most dressed group of people in the whole world. We can wear clothes as big as 12 yards, Babariga, and all the rest, and yet we don't produce any. Most of our textiles are produced by China and India and Bangladesh. Now we need to change this scenario and take a technology that will address the root cause of abandoning abandoning cotton production in Nigeria, revamp it, and also lower the cost of the production to farmers by at least reducing maybe up to 80% of the farm input in terms of pesticide cost, and of course even the health of the farmers who are doing the spraying needs to be addressed. And I believe
production in Nigeria is mainly from 3 cotton zones, namely the Northern Zone 60%, Eastern Zone 30%, and Southwest Zone 10% respectively. Production is dominated by small-scale farmers with farm size ranging from 3 to 5 hectares. all under rain-fed ecologies. Seed cutting yield range from 0.6 to 1.5 tons per hectare, and about 98% of the cotton grown locally belongs to Gossypium hesitam species, with G. barbadens making the balance of 2%. Other causes of poor crop yield in Nigeria have been attributed to late planting, adverse weather condition, finance, and high cost of production.
Farming is all about harvestable yield. A lot of drudgery in cotton cultivation. The weed invasiveness is there, and managing it is really very difficult to read. And so the BT aspect actually makes it less cumbersome. Number of sprays. We have sprayed this farm, I think, only once with insecticide. But if it is the normal, the conventional cotton, you have to spray like 10 times for you to get what you really want. And that is, cost effectiveness is not there. It actually jacks up cost of production. And once cost of production goes high, of course, it tells on the final product. You have the farmer has to, before he recovers his money, he has to sell it at a very high price. So, but with the BT now, that you can only spray 1 or 2 times, and that's it. So it's more cost effective.
Recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, approved about 19.2 billion to fund the establishment of 9 ginneries across the country. An MOU was signed between CBN and Nigeria Cotton Association of Nigeria, Ginners Association of Nigeria, as well as Nigerian Textile and Garment Manufacturers Association. Other groups who signed the MOU with the CBN included the Armed Forces, Nigerian Police Force, paramilitary institutions, the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, and some uniform organizations.
That's why today there is a special committee set up which is domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria that is charged with revamping the textile industry totally and completely. And BT cotton is at the center of this effort. In addition, there will be retooling of the machines and machineries you find in all the moribund textile mills and industries in this country, in addition to the ginneries. The ginneries are also important because in India, for example, 25% of vegetable oil consumed in India comes from cotton seed oil, which they obtain from ginneries. So, and that's why our ginneries are also important, because we believe that by the time all our textile mills bounce back to life, the ginneries will also bounce back fully to life, and they will now find themselves in the position where they will also start producing vegetable oil from cotton seed, which, as I said, in India constitutes over 25% of domestic vegetable oil consumption in that country. India, you must remember, is a country of over 1 billion people.
The CBN say they are improving the links between cotton farmers and ginneries by ensuring that ginneries are able to offtake the high-quality cotton produced by these farmers. The same support will be extended to the textile and garment firms. The CBN have invested heavily in our local textile and garment factories to retool and produce assorted uniforms for our uniformed services that meet international standards. This much was said by Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the governor of the CBN. The commercialization of Nigeria's BT cotton, which has yielded potential of 4.1 to 4.4 tons per hectare as against 450 to 950 kg per hectare of the local variety of cotton, will revolutionize the aiding textile industry.
So BT cotton to this country is obviously and clearly a game changer, not only to the economy. It's going to provide jobs, it's going to provide wealth. In fact, right now, as we speak, this year alone, 1,000 farmers are being trained and empowered to join us in the mass propagation of the 2 new varieties of BT cotton we are commercializing.
We import most of our clothing. Our textile industries are dying. The large part of sub-Saharan Africa today imports their clothing materials. Whereas we can grow our own cotton, we can have our own textile industries. And it is very important for our economy that the textile industry being revived. A whole continent cannot just say they have to import everything they need, from food to clothes. It doesn't make sense for us to import even our clothing all the time. So this cotton crop, BT crop, is very important. It increases yield dramatically, it reduces the field labor, the fuel costs, and it has the potential to revive the textile industries.
With multi-locational demonstration trails on farmers' field in more than 10 states, Nigeria is indeed on her way to making fortunes on textiles.
At the end of the day, your product is going to be high quality lint in terms of lint, because the quality matters. If you actually want to be a global player in this, in the trade of cotton, the quality of your cotton, of course, has to be very, very high. The strength of your fiber has to be high, and so on and so forth. For you to really be that. And if you're not, because it's all about export. If you're not able to export, forget it. That foreign, exchange and what will not be there. So the foreign exchange brings in more money, adds to the GDP, growth and wealth and so it's this is like, to me, this is the answer. This is evidence-based, showcasing science, as science is known as a collection of facts, a provider of solutions to our societal problems, making life very comfortable, very convenient for us and all. And this is it.